What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Drumard Farm in Farming Simulator 17. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the silage, I don't know, cinematic, I guess you'd call it, that I did day before yesterday. That was done for a couple of reasons. One, because I wanted to do it, because I really enjoy doing those types of videos. I like picking out the good angles and finding music that fits, and or sometimes just music that I find cool. You guys know me, I'm into thrash metal mostly. That's mostly what I listen to, so the fact that I put that sort of poppy and dubstep stuff into the videos requires a lot of thought on my part, because I'm like, does that sound good? Because I don't know, because I don't listen to it, right? But I thought it came out pretty cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. But what has Perry got us doing tonight? As you can see, it's about 8:30 at night. We're collecting grass. Davith is on the pit in a T7 315 that Perry managed to finagle on a demo. He's looking to buy it. He wants to maybe replace the Valtra. He thinks it doesn't have quite enough power, and I'm like, you figure out your money situation, work a trade or whatever, and that's fine. But the money's got to be right. Speaking of money, you might be wondering why. Well, the contractors did the mowing and the rowing. In fact, their stuff is parked over there for the night. They'll be back in the morning to finish off the last few meadows that we've got. Why didn't they do it all? Perry wasn't happy with the price. He didn't like the price they were offering for the full package, and they didn't want to come down much because I guess they just invested in a bunch of new equipment. And they got to make that money back, and that's understandable, So Perry's like, well, you know what? We've got the Lely Tego forage wagon, and we've got you. He was pointing at me, of course. And I'm like, right, you understand that I need to get back to Old Ridge, and I have silage that I have to do, and fields that need to be sprayed, and things like that. He's like, yep, that's why I'm going to let Phil go home early, fly back, and get set up over there so you guys can get on your cut, as soon as you're done with this. Perry's turning into a farm owner. He's starting to sound like me. He's like, go collect this grass, and then you can go home. Okay, Perry. So that's what we're doing. We're collecting grass, and we're not going to screw around because I've got a lot of work to do. So, first cut silage, busy time, as you would expect. There's a lot of grass, that Perry owns. Fields, meadows and mostly meadows. We didn't cut any verges or anything like that. Perry didn't want to pay for that sort of, extra stuff. But there's a lot of grass. There's a lot of grass in the pit already, and we're going to fill it right up. So there's a couple of smaller meadows that haven't been cut yet. Those will be cut tomorrow, apparently. I will not be here tomorrow. I will be back on Old Ridge, hopefully spraying my barley and hopefully at least getting, if not doing a cut somewhere, at least getting set up to cut. Now, Phil, like I said, has gone back. He left about 3 hours ago, so he should be just about getting back to Old Ridge at right around now. Yeah, it should be just getting back. Now, obviously, I don't expect him to go straight to the farm. I'm sure he's going to go home, take a shower and have something to eat and everything, and be at the farm bright and early when I get there to get the silage equipment ready, get the mowers ready, check the rakes, get everything greased up and all that. Because it's definitely that time, it's that time of year. Everybody's cutting somewhere, so. I think Perry was a little surprised that the contractor said they could do it as quickly as they did. I think he was looking for another week, to be honest. And they were like, no, we can come tomorrow. Okay. Yep, that sounds good. So, and that's us full. Not even one pass around the field. One thing about these fields, I should probably turn the field lights off and turn the road lights back on. One thing about these meadows is they're all tight to get in and out of, and I'm used to that from Old Ridge, obviously, but I will say that driving this JCB has been an absolute pleasure. I've had a couple of JCBs on loaners. I had one on a demo, that I wasn't crazy about it, but I don't think I gave it a fair shot. You know what I mean? This is a very good tractor. It's comfortable. It's powerful for what it is, and being a fast track, it's quick. So, it's not that far back to the dairy from some of these meadows, but it's far enough. And when you're running back and forth, every 20 minutes, say, the amount of speed you can get out of a tractor cuts that down. That's even better. So, and I'm giving Phil sort of a running total of, this is how much fuel I'm using, Phil. This is what it's probably going to cost you to fill this tractor up. This is what it costs to run this tractor today. And you could see it, like, rolling over in his head, right? He's working it over in his head, and he's going, oh, yeah, welcome to being a farm owner. Whoa. One thing this thing doesn't do very well is slow down from great speed. Of course, I am hauling, 42 tons of grass, so that's one reason why braking is an issue. But yeah, but Perry's learning now what things cost, right? Because, I mean, you may have an idea when you're working for somebody. Like, when he calls me and he says, hey, I've got to go to the fuel station and I got to buy fuel. Oh, okay, you've got the card, right? We have a gas card that we use with that place. We basically run a tab for each season, and then I pay it off as best I can at the end of that season. And he's like, well, it costs, $600. Right. And, to him, that's just a number, right? Well, now it's like, well, guess what? I just put $600 worth of diesel in this JCB, Perry. Oh, did you have to? Yes. Okay. Yeah, let's watch that. Oh, now let's watch it. Okay. Perry's a good hand. He's going to be a good farm owner, and he's getting there already. You know what I mean? He wasn't messing around with the contractors either. I think, obviously, this contracting company has been doing the grass work on this farm for a lot of years. So, excuse me, there's a bit of a loyalty bonus there, right? But I think because of the outlay of cash that they put in for the new equipment that they bought, they were looking to sort of up the price. I guess the price has been the same for quite a few years. They were looking up the price a little bit. They were looking to deal with, obviously, Molly's uncle. And Perry was like, well, you're dealing with me now. And, and they gave him the price. And I was sitting there and I didn't say anything. You know what I mean? I didn't say anything. To be fair, I thought the full package price was not exorbitant. I've seen higher. You know what I mean? I thought that it was pretty decent. Oh, yep, David just turned his beacons on to let me know he knows I'm there. So I'll let him finish his pass. One thing about getting in and out of this place, it is not easy. Where this clamp is so hard to get in and out of. Like, obviously, I'm facing the wrong direction now, right? So I have to turn around and face the right direction. Because I can't dump any other way because David has already started working on his ramp on this end. So, here we go. I should probably find a different way to come in here, but there is no really different way to come in here, you know what I mean? I guess I could back in through the dairy. That might be a little more efficient than having to make all these shunts back and forth to try to get this forage wagon in the right direction. This is a big forage wagon. I mean, it's only it's a dual axle, but it's still pretty big. So I think what I need to do is I need to get it turned as this thing. Perry, move this old busted manure spreader, would you? Perry doesn't seem to be too interested in, like, cleaning up the farm like I was when I came to Old Ridge, where I wanted to clean everything. Oh, come on. And that telehandler being there makes no difference because it's inside the sort of turning circle of this thing. So I'm gonna hit the old manure spreader before I hit that. So, am I gonna be able to swing this in here? Yes, I am. Not the most efficient thing in the world, but it works. Gotta make sure I'm far enough in the pit so David doesn't yell at me. That'll do. We'll dump that right there. But yeah, so getting back to the contractor, I was not, I thought that the original, the sort of full package first price that they came to us with was pretty decent, but Perry didn't like it. So, okay, well, Perry's in charge of that stuff. He gets to tell me what he thinks is fair and what he thinks isn't. And he did say, it's not that I don't think it's fair. I just think it's a little high and it's more than I want to pay. Now, you got to realize with Perry being brand new at being a farm owner, he's trying to, I don't know if he's trying to show me that he knows what he's doing. He's definitely trying to show Molly's uncle that he knows what he's doing. And he's trying to, save money. Obviously, you got to make some money, right? He's got a lot of things to pay for. He's got equipment payments and loans and things like that. But so I was like, well, I said, he says, what? So they went outside. And he said, well, the boss of the contracting team was like, well, we'll go outside for a minute, and let you guys talk. And Perry was like, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you what I think because I don't want you to be influenced by what I would do. You know what I mean? Because to be fair, I would have offered them $2,000 less than they offered me. You know what I mean, for the full package. Settled on $800 and said, when can you be here to do it, right? And it would have been done. And that's what I would have done. But I didn't want to say that to Perry because I didn't want him to be influenced by what I would do. I want him to be able to make his own choices and be comfortable with those choices and stick to those choices, right? That's the thing. It's not so much that I want him, that he needs to learn how to do this stuff, but he needs to be comfortable with his own choices. This is his farm. You know what I mean? He needs to be comfortable with the choices he makes about it. And I don't want him second guessing himself, and I don't want him going, oh, I wonder what he would do. You know, no, that's, you know, what would BP do? Don't think like that, you know? Think, what would I do? This is my farm. What's best for my farm? What's best for my wallet? What's best for my cows? What's best for, you know, for the whole shooting match, right? And so he went back and he said, well, you know, this is what I'm willing to pay for the full package. And the contractor was like, no, I can't do that. You know, he says, that's leaving me a very, very small profit margin, and I got equipment to pay for, and blah, blah, blah. And Perry's like, okay, well, you know, give me a number. And they gave him a number, and Perry's like, no, see, now you're cutting into my profit, and I can't have that. And, you know, and he was, you know, in the beginning, I think he was being a little sort of just hard-nosed, you know, but then after the negotiation went back and forth for about 20 minutes, he started to just look at it like, you know, this is what I can pay. This is what, whoops, that's not the field. I always do that. I always want to go in that field instead of this one. You know, he started to look at it as what can I pay and still have this be worth it to me? So, and that's when the contractor said, well, we can give you the, you know, we can just come and cut and rake everything, and then you can, you know, lift it yourself. And Perry was like, yes, we'll have some of that. and again, we. And I'm like, Perry, who's we? Who's this we? I'm like, I got to get back to Old Ridge. He's like, oh, he's like, BP, you got to lift this grass for me. Okay, very good. Yes, let's do that. I will lift this grass for you. So, all right, I can turn the field lights back on now. I might actually be able to see what I'm doing. Are those all on? Yep, they are. Oh, I have no idea where I left off. So what we will do is we will start right here. Yeah, you can see they got a big Fendt 939. Now, they've had that for a while, but the mowers are new, and the big Kuhn Merge Max that they use, that's new too. You know, which is cool. I think that's neat. You know, Perry was pretty impressed with it, so makes me kind of want to give Chad a call and say, so what's one of those going to cost me over at Old Ridge? I think the contractor said it was somewhere in the vicinity of $80,000 or 80,000 euros. You know, in this country, and I'm like, yeah, that's about 60,000 of anything more than I want to spend. So I've got a perfectly serviceable rake. I don't need that kind of throughput, you know. But it does make quick work of the stuff. That's for sure. I mean, to see the size of the windrows, you know, again, that thing is really designed to be used with a forage harvester, right? You know, that you can put a massive amount of stuff through. Now, luckily, this Lely Tigo has a great throughput. It puts through a lot of material. It doesn't clog up. It doesn't bind up or anything like that. It just pushes the material through, you know, eats and goes about its business and has no issues. So, and I know because, as you can see, I just put a ton of material through it. Didn't have any issues, so. In a non-story note, I will say that now I use Courseplay obviously to do all the mowing and the merging because I needed to be able to move around with the camera and all that, right? Courseplay does that, it works that merger pretty well. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already used Courseplay with it. One thing it doesn't do very well with it is the headlands, because it will switch which work side it's using when it's doing the up and downs, but when it's on the headlands it doesn't, and it tends to make more of a mess of the headlands than really anything else, you know. So I don't know. For the up and downs, it's fantastic. For the headlands, Plus, like with a rake, you can go back in with a forage wagon or with the forage harvester. Even put the forage harvester or the forage wagon on the same course that you put the rake on, and it will, you know, follow it, pick up the windrows, and do its business, right? Well, you can't really do that with the merger because of the way the merger works, unless you set the merger to output in the middle, I guess. But then, of course, Courseplay is going to decide what it wants to do with it, you know, depending on its, you know, how it decides it wants to do the field. Generally, it does 2 passes in each direction, which is why you end up with some of these gigantic windrows, you know. And there was a lot of grass on this field, too, so. This is a pretty heavy piece of equipment, too, when it's full. This Lely Tigo. Now, it is only a dually, so You know, it's not probably as heavy as a big Tri would be, but man, it is. When it's full, it's heavy. Oh, that's going to be us full. That's us full. Very good. I'll find the exit this time, BP. You know, I certainly don't have any trouble, any problem helping Perry out, you know, because I know he needs it, but it's just, I don't know, it's funny to me. It was the way he said it. He says, well, go get all that grass for me and then you can go home. And the funny thing is, and of course he's been with me for a long time, right? So he's probably picked up some of my mannerisms. The way he said it exactly the way that I would have said it to him. You know, back on Old Ridge. Go pick up the grass and then you can go home. Oh, or go, you know, do this or move that or scrape out or whatever, you know, and go home. So it's, I guess, I don't know, you know, it's a little like watching your kid grow up, I guess, you know. Perry's young, you know, they're both, Perry and Phil and Molly, they're all young. You know, they've got a long, long time in this business ahead of them, you know. At least I hope they do. So, you know, it's kind of neat in a way, you know. I did chuckle. I was like, yes, boss, you know, and he's like, and of course Perry being Perry's like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. I'm like, no, listen, you don't gotta apologize to me, you know. This is you now. This is what you do. So, one thing I will give him, he treats me, Davith, and Greg all exactly the same. He doesn't ask me to do anything, you know what I mean? If I'm here and something needs to be done and I'm not doing it, he'll tell me, BP, go do this, right? You know, not in a rude way, not like a, you know, like a, oh, go do this or I'll flog you away, you know, none of that. But, you know, he doesn't talk to me any differently than he talks to Davith or Greg. You know, maybe he's practicing, I guess, you know. I know those two don't give him any trouble at all. They're perfectly fine, you know, taking his direction and everything. And to be fair, like any good hand, like Perry and Phil at Old Ridge, I didn't have to tell them much, you know what I mean? They'd show up in the morning and they'd already know what needed to be done because they saw it the day before or whatever, you know, and they'd go do it. And half the time I wouldn't even see them. I'd roll into, you know, to back from the dairy, you know, 6 or 7 o'clock when they would show up and they'd be gone. You know, I'd see the tractors pulling out. Bye. Yep. You know, off to do stuff. But, you know, and that's how it is here. These guys don't need a lot of direction. I got to figure out a better way to do this. I wonder if I pull up here and try to back into dairy, that may make it easier in the long run. I thought Perry should sell these silage trailers too. Those are, you know, Molly's uncle bought those. Probably need some more lights though. They're not very old. They're only a couple of 3 years old. When he was thinking about doing, I don't know if he was thinking about doing his own silage, or at least carting his own silage, or if he was actually thinking about doing some contracting work, I think Molly said. But that never really sort of panned out, so they kept the trailers. But I'm like, well, if you're not using them, Perry, you know, I'm sure they'll bring some money. They're basically brand new, so I'm going to hook this fence, aren't I? Yep, I am definitely going to hook that fence. This is one thing, you know, Old Ridge, it's a little more open than it is here. Oh, am I hooked on this? I am, aren't I? Yep. Oh, come on. I cannot get wedged in here. I cannot have it take all night to get out of this, to get this grass up. Old Ridge is a lot more open than this dairy is. You know, and this dairy's been here a long time, so, you know, Perry's like, deal with it. That's basically what because I did get stuck coming out here one time, and Perry was like, well, just figure it out. He's like, you know how to drive a tractor, figure it out. Because, you know, really, what else could he say, right? Oh, I tell you, this might be easier in the long run, but this is a long reverse. I would just as soon not be picking up grass at night, but it's got to be picked up, so, you know, and I'm hopefully going to get the two big meadows up there, up the far end there, done, I hope. Oh, in case you're wondering why that gate didn't open, it's because those bale forks are right there, so it's not that the gate's broken or anything, it's just that those bale forks are there, so. All right, Davith, here I am. Roll that thing out of the way. That's a nice tractor, that T7 315. That is a very nice tractor. I think if I was Perry, I would probably try to work really hard to get that to be a permanent member of the family here, because that is a very nice tractor. Perry thought it would be a good idea to put it on the pit, see how it handled, you know, going back and forth for 6, 7, 8 hours. You know, how comfortable it was and everything. And I was like, well, if that was the case, you should have put it on the seater. He's like, no, I didn't want to. I said, I'm going to let Davith run it, and he's going to tell me what he thinks, because that's what you do. He says, you would pick up some piece of equipment on demo, and you'd have me use it, and then you'd have me tell you what I think. Wow, yes. Good to know he's been paying attention. And there's almost no room for Davith to pull out of the way with that monster either, because of that big old silage blade. That silage blade is enormous, but that's what they use here, and they like it. So, yeah, the pit's getting, getting a little full. It's not anywhere near full yet, and it probably won't be full in this cut anyway. That's probably not the best place I could have left that. Davith may not be thrilled with that. He'll let me know on the radio. He'll call me on the radio and say, BP, next time more in the middle, please. Yep. Sorry. Molly was at the dairy looking at the calves, and one of the heifers was getting ready to give birth, and she called Perry on the phone, and Perry stopped. He was on the other side doing something up the arable yard, doing something, and he came running down. He's like, I want to be here for every single calf that's born. He said, just like you are back in Old Ridge. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's great, man. You know, and he came flying back down here, and and I was here, and and we had to help her, as you would expect, get the chain and pull it out, and and everything, and get it on the bottle almost immediately, and but it was it was cool to see. So and Molly, and I'm like, Molly's all Googling over it, and I told her, I said, I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell everybody else when it comes to dairy animals or farm animals in general. Yes, you definitely want to respect that they're a life form, and that you're responsible for them, and that they depend on you for their existence basically. But you don't want to get so attached to them that if this calf gets sick, if for some reason it has to be taken away, that it's going to break your heart, because it's going to break your heart 100 times over the life, your working life on this farm. And you don't want to do that to yourself. So, and she seemed to, she was like, she says, I know. She says, I know. I just, they're cute. Yes, they are cute. They are very, very cute. Oh, and Perry's like, they're cute. And when they grow up into little Euros. I was like, yeah. Well, hopefully that's the way it works out. It hasn't worked out that way so far for us yet, but as I said in the the last time we were in Old Ridge, the milk situation is getting better. It's not great yet, but it's getting better. So, I think this generation of dairy farmers will be the generation that sort of comes out the back end of the bad times. Milk is never going to be what it was. You know what I mean? It's never going to be worth what it used to be worth. But it will be worth enough to make a living off of. So, I think I'll get one more load going here, and then we'll call this an episode, because I got a long night of grass collecting ahead of me. So, and I need some lights, because I can't see what I'm doing. Nope. That switch. Can't quite figure that switch out. You flick it one way to turn the road lights on. You flick it back the other way to turn the front field lights on, and then you flick it in the middle to turn the back field lights on. Like, isn't there just a button that turns them all on? Maybe there is, and I haven't seen it. I don't know. Oh. Is there some reason we're not picking up grass? Why are we not picking up this grass? We're picking it up with... Oh, you big doof. I came all the way down the street with that open? Oh, my God. How did nobody tell me? See, and you thought you were going to have a BP-free episode. Come on. I can't believe I came all the way down the street with that open. Wow. Good thing there was no cars on the road. I'd have caught all kinds of hell for that. I'm like, why won't this pick up grass? And then it... Oh, man. I can't believe I did that. Can you tell it's been a long day? It's been a long day and I'm tired. Oh, I'm surprised Davith wasn't honking like crazy on the tractor telling me or calling me on the radio. Maybe he didn't even notice. He's tired too. It's been a long day for him too. He's been busy, so he's been down the dairy all day. All day. So I guess at some point I should actually, pick a row and finish it. Instead of just randomly driving up to a row and starting it and then filling up and not finishing it. Working a forge wagon's never been really my strong point anyway, because we don't do it on Old Ridge, so I bale everything. And then when we do silage, I have it chopped. So probably do it again myself this year. Probably lease or rent, hire a forge wagon. So. And these two, Perry and Phil, are going to be down with me doing it. Oh. So, Perry, when you watch this video, remember what I said. It is so pretty here, though. It's pretty and peaceful. After a certain time of night, you don't see any traffic. You don't see it. No, there's no traffic, you know what I mean? There's a little traffic coming out of the village, at this time of night, but generally you don't see anybody. So very easy to get in and out of the fields, and don't have to worry about cars, and and not so much worrying about them, but worrying about pulling out of these fields, and it's sort of a blind pull out. It's sort of, you come out in the field, you gotta really crane forward to see around the hood of the tractor to see if anybody's coming up the road. So, but at this time of night, it's not really a concern. Now, I wonder if Perry's going to yell at me for these little bits that I leave on the field. BP, you didn't get all the grass. Oh, yeah, sorry, boss. I'm a lousy hand. I'm a good owner, but I'm a lousy hand. I try. I do my best. Obviously, it must be all right. Otherwise, Perry would have said, BP, just go home. Oh. Yep, that's us full. Again. All right. We'll go and make this impossible drop off one more time, and we'll call that an episode. Hopefully, you guys are still enjoying this series. I know it's maybe not as regular as people would like. It's not as regular as I would like. What ends up happening is there's a lot of setup. I could show you every single thing that happens here in Drumard, but that wouldn't fit with the story, you know what I mean? Because I'm not supposed to be here every day. I'm only supposed to be here 3 times a week, because obviously I have Old Ridge to run. So, I'm trying to do, you're probably going to see a lot of those sort of cinematics and things like that. There might be some Pete Cam stuff up in the corners of Old Ridge videos. Disco, thank you for the idea. Blatantly stealing it. That's, let me know if you don't want me to, but it's too good of an idea not to steal. You are a genius and a legend. But, so unfortunately I can't make a video of this every single day, you know what I mean? I want to alternate them with Old Ridge. I'd like to do a couple of Old Ridges and then one of these, and a couple more Old Ridges and one of these. And it's that time of the year now where I can do that. There's enough stuff. Well, Old Ridge, there's always enough stuff to do, but there's enough stuff here now to do that I could do that. So that's kind of the way it's going to work. And again, it's all going to depend on my mood and whether I feel like making videos or not, I always feel like playing the games. I just don't always feel like making videos. So, and when I do, I make videos. And when I don't, I'm not going to make videos because I don't want to mail them in. I've said this a million times, but I absolutely mean it. I am not going to mail in a video. I'm not going to make a video, sit down and go, oh, I haven't made a video in a while. I'm going to make one, because I got to. No, I don't. I don't have to do anything. I don't ever have to make another video. You know what I mean? I do it because I want to. And I want to make sure you guys enjoy watching it, because it'd be awful to listen to people. Oh, we're gonna go collect grass, and I just don't feel like doing this today. Who wants to hear that, right? You want to hear somebody playing a game that enjoys playing a game, enjoys doing what they're doing. And when I'm not enjoying it, well, I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. That's not fair to you. You know what I mean? It's not fair to me. So 99% of the time when I play the game and I make a video, I'm loving it. Even when silly stuff happens. So, like me getting stuck in a hedge with a 42-ton forage wagon. At the very least, Perry, move these damn silage wagons out, silage trailers out of the way. Getting tired. He's got to be tired too. He's been working just as hard as I have, probably harder. So he probably hasn't slept, but 6 hours in the last 4 days either. So God for steering axles. Otherwise, I'd never get this thing in here. Of course, I could live without them when in reverse. To be fair, just because it's hard to get it to go back the other way again. Because they're hydraulically. They're sort of friction. As the tractor turns, those things turn the wheels by friction, basically. So they don't always come back as quickly as you'd like them to. Davith hasn't seen me yet. Turns on his beacons to let me know he's seen me. So there he goes. Yep. Probably just didn't get a chance to reach up and flick his switch for the beacon. So I will park right here. And while we're waiting for Davith to pull up so I can unload, I will say, hopefully you guys, like I said, are still enjoying this series. It's still a brand new series, basically. I know I'm loving it. It's a lot of fun. This is a fantastic, fantastic map. If you guys haven't played on this map yet, go check it out. It's available on the Mod Hub. It's available for download right from the game, so that's really cool. Scuderia did a fantastic, fantastic job on this map. I can't praise this map enough. It is absolutely amazing. And thanks so much to Scuderia for bringing this just incredible place to us. I know I love being here. I know Perry loves being here. I wish Davith would fold that silage shield up, though, so I could get in here. There we go. All right, let's unload. What else? Make sure to check out everybody in the Monkey Show list. All their links to everything are in the description of every video that I put out. Also, consider bankrolling the Monkey Show. BP has a Patreon page. BP wants your money. Haha, no. If there's some, if you like me, if you like my stuff, if you like what I do, if you like the fact that I can't finish the sentence, if you like the fact that I'll drive down the street with the back of the forage wagon wide open, and then wonder why I can't pick up grass. And you want to support me a little bit, Patreon's a way to do it. There's some cool reward tiers there. Maybe you'll find something you like, hopefully. I'm going to shut this off for a minute while I finish this up. Have a look at it. If you're interested, great. If you're not, that's cool too. I completely understand. What really matters is that you guys come, you watch the videos, and you like what I do. And you seem to, and hopefully that continues for a very long time. Because without you, none of this happens. I don't get to play on this amazing map. I don't get to tell cool stories. I don't get to have fun playing games with my friends and hanging out with you guys and all of that. I get to do none of that. That's all down to you guys. And thank you so very, very much. And as always, this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.